Mysterious fallen angel God chose to redeem reveals shocking secrets of divine forgiveness. Few knew what truly happened that night. The air crackled with tension, and darkness hung heavy like a shroud over the ancient land of Jerusalem. Something unnatural stirred a whisper, a shadow darting between the flickering lanterns. People didn't just talk about the strange happenings, they felt them with every fiber of their being. In that dark hour, beneath the crumbling stone of an old temple, an angel had fallen. The angel, once radiant, now carried the weight of past glory and betrayal. His wings, tattered and dark, curled close to him, half hidden in the shadows. This was no ordinary dusk, it pulsed with the secret of divine forgiveness, ready to unveil itself, where some saw a mere myth, others sensed majesty intertwined with mystery. How could such a being cast from heaven's grace be chosen for redemption? It was unthinkable. The voice of this fallen angel surged, reverberating through the hidden corridors of time. His name? Azazel. His story? One woven with sorrow, love, and unimaginable grace. Jerusalem itself seemed to hold its breath. The cobblestone streets, once bustling with life, echoed with a haunting silence. People paused, caught in the magnetic pull of an unexplainable allure. Shadows danced around the corners, drawing eyes, hearts raced, torn between fear and fascination. And yet, behind those coal-black eyes, Azazel carried stories whispered among the stars, tales of love lost and lessons learned, each a reminder of what it meant to be human. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. A woman, desperate and determined. Her heart pounded with each tentative step. She had heard the stories, and now, she sought answers. What mysteries lay hidden within this fallen angel? What secrets could he reveal about forgiveness and redemption? The tension built, an electric charge coursing in the air. Would she find solace, or was she preparing to face something far darker? As she approached, the air thickened, palpable and heavy. Her pulse quickened, and tears pricked her eyes. What if the truth was too overwhelming? What if Azazel was more than she could bear? Just then, the ground trembled lightly beneath her, a subtle reminder that the past was never far away. Would she stand firm, or would the weight of revelation crush her spirit? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let us connect. As the woman drew closer to the shadowy figure of Azazel, the world around them seemed to dissolve, leaving only the two of them woven into a tapestry of silence. The heavy veil of night enveloped them, encasing their breaths, and for a moment, even the distant echoes of Jerusalem ceased, as if the city itself was listening. Why do you seek me? Azazel's voice was a haunting melody, dipped in both sorrow and strength. It reached out with an invitation wrapped in uncertainty, hinting at the profound depths of wisdom and anguish that lay embedded within his being. The woman hesitated, her resolve wavering as his eyes, shimmering like columbine in starlight, bore into her soul. I come seeking truth, she finally uttered, her voice trembling like a flame flickering against the wind. They say you carry the secrets of forgiveness, yet stand as a testament to despair. How could a being of such darkness know of grace? With a slow, deliberate motion, Azazel unfurled his wings, a movement that sent shadows cascading over the ground, casting shapes that melded and twisted, echoing the complexities of his existence. Forgiveness is indeed a profound mystery, he replied, a bittersweet lilt in his tone. It springs not from the act of forgetting, as many believe, but from the courage to embrace the weight of one's own failures. The woman's heart quickened. Could such a being truly understand the depths of human sorrow? But how can one who has been cast away ever find redemption? Her voice quivered, revealing the vulnerability she had bravely tucked away. Azazel lowered his gaze, and the ground nearby began to tremble once more. Redemption is not a guaranteed destination, he murmured, but a journey forged through struggle and understanding. It requires the willingness to confront one's darkness, alone in the caverns of despair. Only then can the light seep through the cracks. Who would choose such a path? She asked, feeling the weight of his history seep into her awareness, mingling with her own fears and grievances. Who would willingly face despair? The ones who understand the preciousness of hope, he answered softly, eyes reflecting the dim light of the stars hidden between the clouds. Those who have tasted the bitterness of loss and yet dare to believe once more. Many have forgotten that the stars shine brightest against the backdrop of darkness. An unsettling quiet fell between them, thick with contemplation. The woman could feel her heart racing against the walls of her chest as she processed his words. Could there be healing for her, alongside a being so marred by his past? Azazel stepped closer, and the shadows shifted, moving as if with a will of their own. You seek this encounter for a reason. A truth buried within you also yearns for the light. What is it that weighs upon your heart? What darkness shadows your spirit? His question hung in the air, echoing like a bell, beckoning her to delve deep into the chambers of her soul. With every second that passed, she felt the gravity of his understanding pulling her closer to confessions long held captive. Long ago, I lost someone dear, she finally confessed, the words spilling forth like a dam breaking. Even now, their absence wounds me. I can't forgive myself for not protecting them, I can't find peace in my heart. Azazel's expression softened, a trace of compassion flickering across his features, even as the shadows clung persistently to him. Yet within that wound lies the foundation for your own redemption. What if, instead of holding on to the burden of blame, you encouraged the spirit of remembrance to weave a new understanding? Tears slipped down her cheeks, pooling in the corners of her eyes. Could embracing the memories bring healing? Could it truly assist in releasing her grief? The questions spiraled in her mind, intertwining hope with uncertainty. As Azazel continued, the atmosphere thickened, heavy with unspoken possibilities. Your stories, those held so closely, are not merely anchors of pain. They can transform into a conduit of grace. With every step through sorrow, you carve a path that could lead to joy. The night deepened, and silence enveloped them again, punctuated only by the rustle of leaves whispering secrets above. Would she embrace this daunting journey, he suggested? Did she possess the strength to confront the tumult within her heart, or would she remain ensnared in the shadows of regret? The question lingered, an unyielding weight upon her consciousness. Would she trust that forgiveness, even for herself, was waiting just beyond her fear? As the stars watched intently from their celestial perch, the woman stood in the shadow of Azazel, heart clamoring against her ribs, an orchestra of tumult and yearning. The silence begged for a response, and in that pause, she felt the weight of countless untold stories burdening her soul. Do you believe, she ventured quietly, that our past actions can truly be transformed? Can despair coexist with the pursuit of redemption? Her voice, laden with doubt, floated above the grass, mingling with the soft night air. Ah, my dear seeker, Azazel mused, redemption is not a simplistic equation. It is a journey, all paths full of thorns and brambles. What you call despair is a pivotal chapter, one that bears lessons and depth, illuminating the shadows rather than extinguishing the light. As he spoke, the night unfurled, the darkness shifting around them, revealing fragments of memories the woman had long buried. Flickers of laughter, the echo of a familiar voice, and the warmth of embrace. She clutched her chest, silencing her breath as those haunting echoes danced in her memory. Yet, every story contains a choice, Azazel continued, his gaze piercing through the veil of sorrow she wore like armor. In the pursuit of understanding, you must confront your own heartache. Fear not the shadows, for within them exists the possibility of transformation. She shivered slightly at his words, an unsettling mixture of fear and yearning coursing through her. What would it mean to confront her pain? What if the wounds were too deep, too raw to be touched? But what if I falter? she whispered. What if facing my grief only uncovers the brokenness I wish to hide? Azazel moved closer, the shadows receding as though drawn away by an unseen tide. Faltering is an integral part of our path. In the act of stumbling, in the very moments of uncertainty, we learn to rise anew. Forgiveness, dear one, is a companion found in the midst of vulnerability, not in the illusion of perfection. His presence anchored her. She felt the unyielding truth of his words echoing deep into the recesses of her heart. Could forgiveness truly bloom in the soil of vulnerability? She gazed into his eyes, which seemed to encapsulate eternity, fear, sorrow, strength, resolution, all swirling within. How? She breathed, barely able to articulate the desperation in her plea. How can I approach my pain without being consumed by it? Reflect upon your memories, Azazel urged, his voice a gentle compass guiding her spirit. Ask yourself not what happened but why it matters. Each experience woven into the fabric of your being carries a lesson, an invitation to expand your understanding of love, loss, and the divine nature of forgiveness. As the night deepened, the world around them shimmered with a quiet urgency. The question bloomed, fragile yet unwavering in the corners of her thoughts. Could she honor her memories without being anchored to grief, allowing them to fuel the fire of her growth instead? The heart that seeks the truth must first traverse its depths, Azazel whispered, standing vigil beside her. Every tear holds a story, and every story can either bind or free. Will you dare to invite your past into the light, even as it tugs at the corners of your spirit? In the silence that followed, she wrestled with her apprehension, the churning between fear and hope. Would she step into the light, onto the winding path of reconciliation with herself, or would she retreat once more into the shadows that felt so familiar, as dawn's first light threatened to pierce the horizon, illuminating their shared space? The weight of the moment settled upon her. The question loomed large, lingering in the air with a promise yet unfulfilled. Could her heart embrace both the sorrow of loss and the grace of forgiveness, unlocking the door to redemption? As the dawn began to stretch its fingers across the land, the air shimmered with the gentle promise of a new day. The woman felt the soft illumination dance across her skin, a herald of hope interwoven with the dense tapestry of uncertainty. Azazel remained by her side, an enigmatic presence whose words had shaken the very foundations of her understanding. Will you not look to the sun, my dear seeker? Azazel prompted softly, his voice a melodic whisper against the awakening world. Its light does not shy away from darkness but embraces the coming of dawn. Like the sun, your heart has the ability to transform what is hidden into the warmth of understanding. She gazed at the horizon painting itself in shades of amber and rose. The colors blended seamlessly, each hue a reminder of the complexity of life, a mix of joys and heartaches. But what of the shadows? She asked, a tremor of doubt lacing her question. What if they overwhelm the light? Every shadow serves a purpose, he replied, his tone steady. They exist not to conquer, but to define and clarify the brilliance of the light. Each moment of pain can enhance your appreciation for joy. Just as the sun rises only to set again, so too does our existence ebb and flow in cycles of loss and renewal. The woman closed her eyes, visions of her past swirling through her mind, the laughter of loved ones now hushed, the warmth of memories now tinged with longing. I fear that embracing my past will consume me, she confessed, a subtle tremor betraying her strength. What if I can't find my way back to the light? Fear is a barrier, but it can also be a guide, Azazel responded, his eyes reflecting the deep wisdom of experience. Instead of resisting it, lean into that fear. Ask it what it teaches you. Allow the truth buried within the emotion to illuminate your path. Vulnerability is not weakness, it is the custodian of resilience. He gestured towards the earth, where a single flower had begun to unfold amidst the stones. It swayed gently, unyielding in its determination to bloom. Consider the seed, he urged. It breaks before it grows. Without the darkness of the earth, the flower could never blossom to greet the light. As she took in his words, the woman felt a gentle stirring within. But what if the breaking is too painful? She whispered, as trepidation gripped her heart. What if, in confronting my wounds, I discover that I am indeed broken? In all truth, we are pieces, fragments of joy, sorrow, love, and despair, Azazel assured her. Yet every fragment can bring forth a mosaic far more beautiful than any singular image. To be broken is to be human, and therein lies the magnificent story of redemption. With each breath she took, the weight of her grief felt slightly less oppressive, replaced by the flicker of curiosity and reflection. She pondered the notion that perhaps, within her heartache, there existed the key to both understanding and forgiving herself and others. Could she approach this fragile dance of healing without fear? Every heart is a vessel crafted by the divine, he continued, as the sky lightened incrementally. Will you trust that your struggles, too, have a sacred purpose? Seek the whispers of encouragement even amidst your trials. The sun broke the horizon, its golden rays spilling forth like a cascade of warmth and hope, and she felt the embrace of the morning light upon her face. In that shimmering moment, hope burgeoned, a feeling as delicate as it was profound. What would it mean to explore the depths of her sorrow, to confront the ghosts that haunted her spirit, and still emerge whole? The question lingered poignantly in the brightening morning, a tapestry of possibilities woven into the air. She stood at the threshold of an unexplored journey, ready to confront what lay ahead. Would she possess the courage to turn her gaze inward, face her shadows, and allow the divine to write a narrative of redemption upon her soul? As the sun rose higher, casting a glow that illuminated the world around them, the woman felt a whirlwind of emotions stir within her. The air, now fragrant with the scent of dew-laden earth, carried with it an unmistakable energy, the promise of transformation. Azazel, sensing her internal struggle, turned his gaze to the undulating hills that undulated before them. Look around you, dear seeker, he said softly, gesturing with a fluid motion of his hand. See how the land itself tells a story of renewal. Each tree, each rock, is a chapter written in the language of time. The woman followed his gaze, and in the distance, she saw a cluster of trees, their branches swaying gently in the morning breeze. Some trees stood tall and proud, their trunks sturdy and strong, while others bore the scars of storms, weathered, broken limbs yet still alive, vibrant green leaves sprouting from wounds that should have been fatal. But how can one celebrate the scars? She posed, a mix of awe and confusion in her voice. Don't they signify what is lost? What was broken beyond repair? Azazel smiled, a knowing expression gracing his features. Ah, but therein lies a profound revelation. Scars are reminders of battles fought and lessons learned. They are proof that even in our brokenness, we possess the capability to heal. Like the trees, we, too, can find strength in our fragility. She pondered on his words, a myriad of thoughts weaving through her mind. What if embracing her scars brought her not sorrow but strength? What if, in learning to see beauty in the remnants of pain, she unlocked a deeper understanding of herself and the divine? Azazel's presence felt steady, a rock in the ever-changing sands of life. Once you accept your scars, you will discover that they are the roots of your authenticity. They allow you to connect with others who have also faced their storms. Each person carries a testimonial of survival, and though their stories might differ, the essence is the same: redemption pads the path paved with trials. As they walked together through the flowering meadows, the now bright sky enveloping them in warmth, a cloud of hesitation still loomed in her heart. But what of the divine? If I dig deeply into my pain, will I not unravel the very fabric of my faith? I fear that the truths I uncover may shatter the beliefs I clung to. Azazel paused and regarded her intently. Consider this truth: faith is not the absence of doubt or fear, but the embrace of uncertainty. The divine does not shy away from your questions or sorrow. In fact, it invites them, asking you to lay your burdens down at its feet and seek solace in the mystery of unconditional love. She felt a tremor of understanding ripple through her. Might her vulnerability, her willingness to confront her fears, open a channel to a deeper communion with the divine? As the sun continued its ascent, illuminating the world in rich hues, she felt a stirring within her spirit, a yearning for connection that transcended her lingering apprehensions. Each moment of seeking holds the potential for revelations, Azazel said gently, as if reading the thoughts cascading through her mind. You must be willing to venture into the dark corners of your heart to find the hidden treasures that lie dormant there. Will you let go of the need for certainty and dare to trust in the beauty of the unknown? As they neared the grove of trees, she gazed at a bird taking flight, a burst of color against the azure sky, and felt a flicker of hope igniting within. Could she surrender to this uncharted journey? Was it possible that through her descent into pain, she might discover not only healing but a renewed relationship with the divine? The day was bright, yet the path ahead remained shrouded in mystery. With each tentative step, she questioned her ability to embrace this unfolding narrative and let the past illuminate the journey to come. What truths lay waiting for her in the depths of her sorrow, and would she find the fortitude to rise and take flight, just like the bird soaring above her? As they entered the grove, the air thickened with a stillness that felt almost sacred. The sound of rustling leaves seemed to whisper timeless truths, urging her to listen deeply. Azazel moved gracefully, weaving through the trees that stood like sentinels, each one a silent witness to countless stories of suffering and redemption. The woman felt drawn to a magnificent tree at the center, its ancient bark scarred yet majestic, a marvel of life defying the ravages of time. Here is the heart of the grove, Azazel remarked, gesturing toward it. This tree has seen ages come and go. Its roots stretch deep into the earth, seeking water and nutrients, feeding on the decay around it. He paused, allowing her mind to digest the image. In its fragility and strength, it embodies the conflict within us all, the yearning to grow while confronting the decay of what once was. The woman approached the tree, her fingers tracing its rough exterior, as though she sought to uncover the secrets hidden within its depths. What can it teach me? She asked softly, a longing in her voice. Listen to its story, he urged. Each ring in its trunk speaks of seasons past, drought and flood, wind and sun. It endured storms and stood firm, for it knew the sun would return, even when the clouds threatened to obscure the light. Tears brimmed in her eyes as the weight of her own experiences washed over her like a wave. Could the lessons woven into this tree's very essence be echoed in her own life? She thought of her scars, the turbulence she had navigated, and wondered if, like the tree, she too could become a beacon of resilience. Azazel's voice pulled her back from her reverie. Many fear what lies within their own hearts. They build walls around their pain, but such barriers only constrict the flow of divine grace. Embrace your sorrow, for only in your willingness to confront darkness will the light break through. But doubt crept into her thoughts once more. And what if I'm unworthy of that grace? She murmured, fear sparking within her. What if I am destined to be trapped forever in my failures, my sins? In the tapestry of existence, Azazel said, there are threads of darkness intertwined with those of light. Each is essential, without one, the other could not exist. The divine sees beyond your failures and embraces you wholly. It whispers of forgiveness, mandating that you forgive yourself. As the weight of his words filled the space between them, she felt something shift within her. Could forgiveness truly liberate her from the chains of guilt and despair? What started as a daunting journey toward self-examination now felt like a sacred pilgrimage toward understanding. But how can I know it's true? She pressed. How can I trust that forgiveness is not just another illusion? Consider this, the very nature of existence thrives on the notion of potentiality, Azazel replied, his expression inscrutable yet inviting. Hope and despair coexist, as do forgiveness and remorse. Seek not only answers but the heart that beats beneath them. Allow yourself to dwell in the questions. At that moment, she sensed the presence of something greater, an energy swirling around her, mingling with the gusts of wind that filtered through the leaves. Echoes of ancient hymns seemed to resonate in the air, a reminder that she was not alone in her struggles. Her soul began to awaken to the understanding that redemption was not earned but bestowed, not a destination but a journey ever unfolding. Azazel, sensing her deliberation, extended his hand. Will you choose to step forth? Will you risk opening the door to your heart, knowing that even within the chaos, there exists a path leading back home? She studied his eyes, deep pools of wisdom and compassion, and felt her spirit lift with the weight of possibility. Yet, within that weight, uncertainty lingered, a reminder that the journey would not be without trials. What lay on the other side of her willingness? Was she ready to confront both the light and the shadows that dwelled in her heart? The grove stood silent, the heavy fragrance of earth surrounding them like an embrace, and as she inhaled deeply, the question echoed in her mind: what would it mean to surrender to the divine invitation of grace, and could she trust in the promise that forgiveness would weave its magic through the tapestry of her life? The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows that danced upon the grove floor as if performing an ancient ritual. The woman gazed at the magnificent tree, its gnarled branches reaching out like arms, inviting her closer, yet also warning her of the complexity of her own heart. Azazel remained silent, a steady presence as she wrestled with her fears. Finally, she broke the silence, her voice trembling slightly. What if my journey leads to a place I am afraid to go? What if I find darkness where I thought there would be light? Azazel stepped closer to her. The light does not erase the darkness, it gives it context. Just as night gives way to dawn, so too can your pain yield to understanding. There is wisdom hidden in the shadows, waiting to be discovered. Each fear you face can become a stepping stone toward your true self. Feeling bold, she responded, and what if I find myself unworthy of the love you speak of? What if my darkness consumes me? Ah, but what you perceive as darkness may be the fertile ground from which grace can grow, Azazel replied, a gentle smile curling upon his lips. Remember the tree. Its scars are not signs of defeat but badges of survival, telling the world that it endured. Forgiveness is not forgetting, it is the fierce reclamation of your spirit in the face of adversity. Her heart raced at the thought, the image of the tree more vivid than ever. What stories lay interwoven within her own life, waiting to be told? What if each struggle she had faced were chapters in a greater narrative of resilience? Could she dare to weave her own story of redemption, of embracing every shade of her existence? As if sensing her turmoil, Azazel gestured toward the roots of the ancient tree. Look down there. Every root is entangled with others, yet holding its own space. They draw strength and sustenance, connecting to the world around them. It is a reminder that life thrives on interdependence. You are never wholly alone in your journey. Her eyes followed his gesture, and she envisioned the intertwining roots extending beneath the surface, reaching out for sustenance, just as humans reach for hope and understanding. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves, and the whispers returned, affirming the truth that had begun to settle in the depths of her being. But still, she hesitated. What if I don't know how to begin? What if my first step is wrong? Every step taken in earnest is a step towards truth, Azazel encouraged. Even a misstep can be a divine lesson. Each mistake is but a shadow in the broader light of your journey. Embrace the fear of the unknown, it is often where true discovery unfolds. The emotions swirled within her, a tempest of longing and doubt mingling into a singular question: if the path ahead is shrouded in mystery and uncertainty, can I trust the journey to lead me where I need to go? With a newfound determination, her hand reached out to take Azazel's. In that moment, a wave of warmth enveloped her, filling the void of doubt with an abiding sense of possibility. She envisioned the path unfurling before her, the fallen leaves heralding not an end, but a rich beginning, yet just as hope blossomed, uncertainty loomed larger in her heart. Could it be that the true test awaited? As the light dimmed and twilight cast a cloak over the grove, she wondered, what if the very next step thrust her into the very shadows she feared? Would she be ready to confront the darkness that awaited her within? As the evening deepened, the grove transformed into a sanctuary of twilight hues. The air grew cooler, and the gentle rustling of leaves seemed to whisper secrets carved by time. The woman felt a stir within her, a mingling of apprehension and anticipation. She stood on the precipice of her journey, her mind alive with the questions that had followed her for so long. What lay beyond the threshold of her fear? Azazel, sensing the conflict within, turned slightly and gazed at her with watchful eyes. Wherever you stand, know that even in the darkness, the presence of the light is never far away. Light and shadow shape the contours of existence, both have purpose. Is it wrong to wish for only light? She dared to ask, vulnerability woven into her words. Desiring only light is part of the human experience, he replied softly, yet it is through the struggle with darkness that the light shines the brightest. The beauty of your spirit can only be revealed when you embrace the totality of your existence, even those parts hidden in the depths. She bit her lip, pondering his words, her gaze drifting to the tree's towering trunk. The bark was weathered, marked by the passage of seasons and storms, alike a testament to survival. Is there a purpose to the suffering we endure? She questioned, feeling her heart draw closer to that ancient wisdom. Ah, that question, Azazel mused, is one that many have pondered through the ages. Each tear, each heartbreak teaches lessons that are etched into your spirit. From the soil of suffering, the roots of compassion often take hold. You may also discover that what you perceive as suffering may merely be preparation for use in a greater tapestry. A breeze swirled around them, lifting the last of the day's warmth. What if my suffering cannot be redeemed? What if I am forever mired in darkness? She added, wrestling with an unseen weight. With a nod, Azazel replied, redemption lies not in the absence of pain but in the embrace of it. The fallen can rise, the broken can be mended. Your path may lead you to the source of your deepest wound, yet that journey can illuminate your purpose, igniting a fire of resilience within you. As the first stars began to twinkle in the vast darkness above, the woman felt a warmth brighten in her heart. And if I find that my very darkness is what separates me from others? What if my struggles alienate me? In every heart lies the potential for connection through shared struggles, Azazel said, his voice steady, filled with reassurance. Every individual carries a unique burden, yet you are not defined by your scars. The act of revealing your true self invites others to shed their masks. Your authentic voice can build bridges where darkness might seek to divide. In this moment, the woman felt an urge to confront the stories she had tucked away, the experiences that felt too heavy to bear, the shadows she was ashamed to share. Could transparency be her greatest ally? But a question continued to gnaw at her: what if, instead of liberation, revealing her truth only brought more pain? As if reading her mind, Azazel smiled softly. Fear not the path of vulnerability. Even in the most profound silence, a flicker of hope can flourish. You may stumble, but there lies divinity in the struggle. Just allow your heart to sing its truth, and the universe will conspire to weave your story into its grand narrative. The grove felt alive around her, the mysteries of the night opening as she contemplated her nascent courage. Perhaps her journey could be one of reclamation, a voyage not just toward understanding but toward a deeper acceptance of herself. Yet, as the twilight deepened, uncertainty clung to her like a shadow. Could she summon the strength to journey boldly into her own unknown? With a heavy sigh, she looked into Azazel's eyes, seeking guidance. Would the next step she took lead to redemption or a deeper plunge into despair? And could she truly accept the darkness within, or would she recoil in fear? The silence of the grove embraced them, thickening like the night air, heavy with unshed thoughts. The woman felt as if the shadows danced around her, each flicker of movement stirring memories she had long buried. Somewhere in that depth, she recognized a truth: it was not just darkness she feared, it was the pain of exposing her spirit. Azazel, she ventured, her voice a gentle murmur against the night, what makes the journey worthwhile if it is fraught with uncertainty? What assurance can you give me that the struggle is not in vain? Assurance is not a currency of the divine, but a willingness to trust in the unseen paths, he replied, his gaze sweeping toward the stars that began to emerge, bold in their twinkling constellations. For it is in the convolution of your experience that the light of understanding can shine through. Every question you hold is an invitation to deeper wisdom. She pondered this, gazing up at the heavens, feeling both small and immense under the vast cosmic tapestry. If every struggle is a chance to unravel mysteries, what then of my past? Should I attempt to uncover the secrets hidden in those fragments, or are some truths better left unspoken? Azazel's expression grew serious, almost solemn. The past, while a weight upon your shoulders, also holds keys to your liberation. Yet, it requires courage to turn those keys and confront the places of pain. The truth that lies in your wounds can heal not just you, but those around you, echoing through generations. As the night deepened, a shiver ran through her. The resonance of his words soaked deep into her consciousness. Could my wounds truly hold that power? She mused, testing the idea against the intimate fears plaguing her heart. It is never the wound that defines you, but the healing that follows, Azazel reassured her. Like the phoenix that arises from its ashes, allowing the light to break through once more is what lends your life meaning. You are not alone in your darkness, many wander the same fields of sorrow, seeking solace. The woman felt a flicker of hope ignite within her, a growing desire to uncover the purpose behind her experiences. Could the scars she carried weave a narrative of resilience rather than a tale of sorrow? Yet another layer of her spirit whispered apprehension. What if, in the revealing, she became vulnerable to pain anew? Consider this, Azazel continued, as if sensing her retreat. Vulnerability is strength shaped by the hand of experience, not a form of weakness to be shunned. When you bare your soul, you may discover a warmth, a community that exists in shared vulnerabilities. Isolation thrives in silence, but light can blossom through connection. A gust of wind stirred the leaves, filling the grove with rustling whispers. But is it wise to seek others when solitude feels so familiar? She asked, grappling with the notion of reaching outward when inward exploration felt so daunting. The call to solitude is a powerful one, he acknowledged. Yet, like a seed planted in the earth, its potential only flourishes in the embrace of the sun and the embrace of the rain. Sometimes, true strength emerges in the act of sharing your journey. Nothing is wasted in this sacred exchange. You may find that through your revelations, you illuminate pathways for others also searching for their way. His insights unfurled possibilities within her soul, illustrating that even amidst her fears, she might still tread forward into the unknown, shaped by resolve and understanding. Yet a more profound question danced within her. What if the very act of unveiling her truth felt like crossing a precipice into an abyss, rather than stepping onto solid ground? As she stood in the grove, teetering on the brink between darkness and light, she felt both terrified and exhilarated by the possibilities. What if what lay ahead could lead to something wondrous, or terrifying? She thrust herself into the unknown, contemplating her next step. Could she embrace her story as it was shaped by each struggle? Azazel, she asked, her heart pounding, will embracing my truth bring healing, or merely expose me to greater hurt? Am I brave enough to let go and trust the process? In the hollowness of the night, she awaited his answer, caught in an awareness of the mystery unfolding around her. What did it mean to redeem one's darkness, and could she truly uncover the light within? As the moon ascended, casting its silver glow throughout the grove, the world felt both ethereal and tangible, underscoring the very fight for redemption that resided in the heart of all beings. The woman stood before Azazel, her heart a tempest of doubt and yearning, longing for the assurances that could bridge her fears. What if my journey leads me to find nothing but darkness? What if my own shadows become too overwhelming to bear? Azazel regarded her with an expression of profound empathy, his wings casting delicate silhouettes across the forest floor. "Ah, my dear seeker," he replied, his voice resonating like a distant melody, "it is precisely in facing the shadows that one finds the path to light. Darkness does not exist to ensnare you but to reveal the contours of your spirit. In acknowledging your fears, you illuminate the road ahead with truth and strength." The woman pondered his words, sensing a flicker of courage awaken within her. Could it be true that the very fears she dreaded might hold the key to her liberation? She had always viewed darkness as an enemy, something to shun and escape, yet perhaps it was a teacher in disguise, guiding her to deeper understanding. Yet facing the unknown is terrifying, she confessed, wrestling with the very real fear of confronting her past. What if I am not strong enough to bear what I uncover? Strength is forged in vulnerability, Azazel said, leaning closer, his intent gaze steady. What you perceive as weakness is, in truth, an invitation to resilience. The heart grows not in the absence of adversity but in the crucible of hardship. Embrace the unknown, and you will learn that even the most fragile of creatures contains the capacity for immense bravery. Consumed by the profundity of his wisdom, the woman felt her resolve shaping itself anew. If the essence of strength lay in vulnerability, perhaps she could weave her scars into a testament of survival. Could the act of unveiling her truth serve as both healing and connection, offering solace to others caught in the web of suffering? Still, I fear the judgment of others. What if they cannot accept my truths? She murmured, her voice barely a whisper. What if my journey is met with derision rather than compassion? Azazel nodded, a trace of sadness crossing his features, as if he understood far too well the weight of rejection. Judgment thrives in silence and ignorance, yet understanding blooms in the light of shared experience. When you speak your truth, you invite others not only to witness your pain but to journey with you, expanding the boundaries of their own hearts. Taking a breath, the woman closed her eyes, envisioning the tapestry of her life woven with vibrant threads of experiences, each moment, both joyous and painful, contributing to the rich panorama of her being. Her heart began to sing a quiet song of hope, resonating with a stirring acknowledgement of the beauty that could arise from authenticity. With dawning courage blossoming in her spirit, she gazed back at Azazel, her voice steadier now. Then I shall choose to embrace my truth. I will face my past and let it guide me, trusting that the light will emerge in the wake of my courage. Splendid, Azazel affirmed, a smile breaking through the solemnity of his demeanor. In your embrace of vulnerability lies the potential for transformation, not only for you but for all who cross your path. Remember, the stars shine brightest in the darkest of nights. You will unearth the power of redemption. As the moonlight bathed them in a silvery glow, the grove responded to her newfound resolve, capturing the essence of a sacred promise. In that moment, the woman recognized her past was not merely a series of detachments but a continuous thread weaving connection to the hearts of others. Every scar could illuminate another's path home. As the first echoes of dawn began to stretch their luminous tendrils across the horizon, she felt the walls within her begin to dissolve, replaced by the shimmering hope of a lasting transformation. What began as an encounter with fear had blossomed into a journey of faith, not just in herself, but in the divine's ability to turn sorrow into grace. Faith is not a destination, Azazel whispered, his voice weaving through the gentle rustle of leaves. It is a continual journey of trust, where commitment to truth transforms despair into strength. You are not alone, you carry within you the love of the universe as it guides you toward your beautiful emergence. With that understanding firmly grasped, the shadows that had loomed so heavily in her soul receded, allowing her heart to awaken to the light that awaited her. Encouraged by the spirit of the ancient grove, she took her first steps toward the threshold of her fears, a radiant bloom of courage igniting her path. Do not fear the darkness, Azazel reminded her as she walked away from the grove, each step a sacred act of surrender. Embrace it as part of your story, for in every heartbeat lies the rhythm of redemption waiting to unfurl. Let forgiveness be your guide, let love be your anchor. As dawn's golden rays kissed the earth awake, the woman felt her spirit soar. No longer shackled by her past, she walked forward, not as a survivor of despair but as a beacon of hope and grace. With every step, she carried with her the profound revelation that darkness and light are not adversaries but partners in the divine dance of existence, and as the warmth of a new day enveloped her, she understood within the sacred tapestry of life, it is in the weaving of our stories, both fractured and whole, where the truest miracles unfold, echoing through eternity as testaments to the power of love and acceptance.